It's 5th of January 25, and I'm just looking at Elon Musk's X feed, or what I call it, Twitter. But anyway, oh my goodness, I feel sorry for the people that he's having to go at. It's really vicious. I mean, he really is a troll, and so is Donald Trump. But it just so happens that I'm in favour of the ones he's attacking at the moment, of the attacks he's doing. So I'm not, in a way, I'm not so bothered. But yeah, he's obviously unstable, really, to me. Yeah. He reminds me a bit of Julian Assange, sort of like that. These people get involved with these sort of volatile people, really toxic. But I mean, I would never want anything to do with Elon Musk, or anything, even if I supported what he's doing, because it's all hit and miss anyway. Because he even took away that big Trump supporter, Laura Loomer. He took her blue tick away, and even today she's trying to say let's make amends. Probably wants a blue tick back for money reasons. I mean, I'm not against that anyway, but he was meant to be the free speech guy, but he's taken off one of Trump's biggest supporters. And he's really having to go with the British establishment at the moment, which I don't mind, including Nigel Farage. And so far I've agreed basically with what he's saying. It does seem that he takes an interest in sort of the Anglo world, if you want to call it that, to the Britain and the countries it colonised, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, mainly, and of course he's from South Africa. But I think he would have a pop at these people anyway, but I'm wondering if he's having an extra, they're getting his devoted attention at the moment, because Trump's told his cabinet not to do posts about American policy or home policy or whatever, so he can't talk about America at the moment. He can't have a go at Laura Loomer, things like that. So he's going full blast on Britain, and so far I don't mind him. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, Robert Lowe is looking like the star. When I say a star, an old-fashioned star, sort of old-fashioned major type. He's showing it how sloppy the current politicians are, and he's saying the right things now about mass migration and that. He has said a few of the wrong things to me, like he wants to keep the first past the post system, which I think is ridiculous. It's not even democracy, first past the post, because they're saying now that the reform got around about 31%. That's enough now to have a majority, 31% of the vote. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're not even anywhere near 50%, So he's having a real go at Nigel Farage today. He's saying he must resign. And also he pinned this post about the grooming gangs in Britain, or the rape and torture gangs, as it should be called, really, of what white women underage mostly. Yeah, but he says he's actually read the material. I mean, I did hear him in an interview with Rishi Sunak last year, and he sounded really, although I still think of him as toxic at the time and that, he sounded really on the ball, really, because he even said in that interview that he respected government, because you need a referee, basically, when it comes to doing business and stuff. So I respect him for saying that, because that's how I see government as well, really. Government are our leaders. I mean, they are elected in, not a very good electoral system, but they are the people elected to do a thing. The fact that they're on holiday most of the time, and we have an election only every 5 years, and they're trying to keep it that way. I'm not happy with that, so I'm happy with what Robert Lowe's saying. Well, if you think you're getting the elite in Parliament, you're dead wrong, But, once Elon Musk goes after someone, it must be terrible for the person. It's Nigel Farage today, which is ironic, is it? Nigel met him about 2 or 3 weeks ago at Trump's sort of victory party, and He said, Elon, unlike a lot of billionaires I meet, he seems very normal. You know, he's not thinking that now, I would imagine. But I mean, even when he said that, I didn't think Elon's normal. I mean, he's very toxic. I mean, he's pretty intelligent, you know. Probably he made his money just out of desperation. Probably couldn't be part of a team except begging for money at that stage. Got lucky with PayPal, and that's it. Once something like that takes off, I mean, he is a bit of a gambler as well because he's taking gambles with Twitter even. You know, what was it? 44 billion he paid for that or something. What else? Although to him that's nothing really, you know. Because someone like him, I think, say if they're earning 10 billion a year, I would say, if I was in his position, I would say, right, I'm going to give 3 or 4 billion of that to the government, you know, because I don't need it. Because imagine how many poor mouths that would feed, you know. But anyway, what's he saying? I can't even keep up. He does about 30 posts a day. This is what Trump's like as well. He picks on people. I mean, Trump's, you know, calls people senators like crying Bob and things like this. At the moment, Trump's having a go at Dick Cheney's wife, who stood up against him, you know. And it must be really scary for him, you know. She said this is not the Soviet Union, but it nearly is. We're heading for dictatorships, really, with the likes of Trump and Musk. I really can't see Musk and Trump getting on, you know. Even Trump will probably find him too much. So it is very interesting. So he's really having a go at foreign things. I mean, he was already, but now he's probably devoting most of his time to them now. And generally, I'm agreeing with what he's targeting. I mean, I see the FDR reform as protest votes on one issue, Overton window shifts on the issue. So I don't see any of the other policies, you know. I don't even know what their economic policies are or whatever. I don't think I'll like them very much. Yeah. So here is going on a bit there. And it's interesting this the grooming gang thing, or the rape and torture of white girls, underage white girls. Because this has been going on for like 20 years, we've known it, or some, probably going on, some say in the 1970s it's been going on. He probably has read, it looks as if he is well read on things, you know. Sometimes I think he's just posting on a bit of ignorance and gets lucky that he's sort of understanding that. But I think he has actually looked into it as well. And then he's talking about America there. I wonder if Trump will like that. So Nigel must be in shock today anyway. He's probably having a breakdown now. This is the Daily Mail. Be replaced as party leader. He said it about 1 o'clock today, I think it was. He tweeted it or X'd it. The two met less than 3 weeks ago. And he was going to give 100 million to reform. Dollars. Yeah, one of the great things about what he's doing is he's really highlighted this the rape and torture of underage white girls, gangs thing that's been going on. People say it's still going on today. I don't know, you know, even people that Liz Truss and that. But it has always seemed weird that it's been such a quiet thing. But this week it seems to just have exploded in social media. Somebody said that Fraser Nelson wrote about it in The Spectator a week ago or something. He done an article for The Spectator, which is a sort of posh centre-right Thatcherite thing, you know. And I don't know. I think he published some of the things that the judge said about the cases, which are absolutely appalling. You know, they're talking about anal pumps and gang rape. I mean, I've heard a lot of it already. Not the anal pump thing, that was new to me, but I don't know why it's suddenly become this week. But I'm grateful for it. But it feels as if it could, even if it did destabilise it, if it could make people vote reform as an Overton window shift, you know, dump Labour, Lib Dem, Greens. They are the parties that have really brought this about, because they're there to call anyone anxious about it, to call them the R word, basically. So, I mean, yesterday, I think Musk had to go at Jess Phillips, who I think is an appalling MP, you know. Really, when she goes on about men, you need to think of it as, quote, white men, really. That's what she's really going on about, or she's going on about it. You've got to think within that spectrum. And she's going to be the last of her type who get elected in that constituency, because it's going to be an identity candidate for her now, after she's gone, same as Blackburn has gone away from Labour this time. There was 4 other ones, wasn't there? Or was it 3 other ones plus Jeremy Corbyn, although he's seen as a useful idiot. He looks nothing like his constituents, you know, because he's been there for 44 years or something, 42. Yeah, he said the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. It comes just a day after Farage distance Reform from Musk's support for Tommy Robinson. Yeah. And he's thrown his support behind Robert Law. But really, he just messes about with people, Elon Musk. I mean, I really wouldn't want him to be supporting me, or maybe he's supporting an issue that I think of, but no, nothing else. I mean, Robert Law is a successful business manager. He's 67, and he was the chairman of Southampton Football Club. And, you know, I mean, when he took over Southampton, Graham Souness went in charge, and he said, I would never hire him for anything again, basically. But he sounds very common sense, in an old majorly way. But he's definitely better on mass migration and stuff like that than Nigel, you know. Like I say, I think George Galloway's part is actually better on mass migration than the Reform. I would need to check again, but I think this SDP, the Social Democrat Party under William Clouston, because we need a freeze, really, you know, that's what we need. But I mean, my goodness, I mean, the same as Trump made it, he just tweets constantly, say 30 tweets a day or something, you know. But I mean, I stopped following them because I just can't be bothered keeping up. Yeah, he said yesterday that Musk supporting reform makes the party look cool. I wonder what he's thinking now. But I mean, I'm not happy because Elon and Trump are like dictators, you know. They're being trolls at the moment, but I agree with what Musk is focusing on here on this issue. And I see that J.K. Rowling said something about the grooming gangs this week. I know she hadn't really said anything about mass migration or whatever. Not that you directly link those two, but I think most of us, that's the way we're feeling. Certainly myself, you know. Apparently in the Pakistan-Afghan borders, there's some use for the word that truck drivers use, and Imran Khan said it's their shame. Something to do with Bazzy Boys or something. You need to look it up yourself. You can get the idea. You know, there seems to be a sort of just a way there. But I mean, this other thing to do with these girls, I think it was also to do with a racial aspect, humiliation due to racial thing. You know, maybe taking it out on the young girls. They're angry that they didn't want to live in their own country where everyone looks like them, which is probably warmer and more beautiful. They were so desperate to get to Britain, and a bit of envy, you know. And because of their ego works that way, it seems. You know, I think all the world's problems, not to do with the West, seem to be to do with ego. They can't create societies because they're too busy firing Kalashnikovs in the air or swearing to kill their arrival of generations, even though they don't even know what they're probably fighting for or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. I suppose it's a bit like the mafia, you know. That's the closest we got to this sort of way of thinking. So there's the Tories are jumping in, and quite right too. Will you be standing aside, Nigel, if your Rupert is ready to replace you? Good for them. Nigel, you should never meet your heroes. Andrew Leon. Yeah, fair enough. He's also met Reform Treasurer Nick Candy, who's a billionaire in Britain, I think, last month. So he started this Free Tommy Robinson stuff on Thursday, and this is Sunday, so it's really, I mean, for bringing the Groom Gang, that stuff on, that's fantastic. And even Free Tommy Robinson, I think he went to court for, he was told to take something down for not following a court's order to remove a video or something, but the video in Hangme is talking about one of those stories of a Syrian refugee who moved to up north from Syria. But I think we can't trust the judge's decision on whoever gave the order to not allow the video to be seen. And so we should hear about the court case, the original court case, and let the public decide, you know. Because he did show it at that rally, and I watched it, in fact, although I don't think I could hear it much. Yeah. So the original video, I think we should all, and the court case, we should all be able to hear about it and be judged, because he's told about how the young people who were bullied by allegedly, you know, their lives have been ruined, and partly because of the court case, you know, the judge was very sensitive and stuff, so, yeah. Yeah, I think, because I just see Reform as a protest party, Overton window shift, so I'm not really bothered, you know, I'm just Overton window. I don't agree with party politics. I think it should be voting issues like in Switzerland. Switzerland's the nearest to an electoral system. They do quarterly referendums and stuff, you know, on issues. I mean, we should really vote in bills that go through Parliament, you know, because a lot of these bills are really heavy duty. There's a lot of stuff in them, and you're really thinking, why are they putting on this? It's a mishmash. I mean, Ireland just had a referendum recently on 2 issues, which they thought they would win, otherwise they wouldn't have put them to referendum. They were to do with changing their constitution, to do with the family, and also indirectly I think to do with mass migration, the natives becoming a minority basically. And the people said no, and the Prime Minister resigned, the Taoiseach or whatever, they get that guy who's ultra woke and ultra in favour of the Irish becoming a minority as soon as possible. Well, that's in practice becoming a third world majority. So Nigel's a bit embarrassed. And he's also having a go at the PM, Keir Starmer, of being complicit in the rape of Britain. Yep. And he's had to go at Jess Phillips, which I think she deserves a go. But, it's pretty tough getting one from Elon Musk. And Farage said today, the fact that Musk supports me and supports reform doesn't mean as two grown-ups we have to agree with everything the other says. Well, I'll put yes here. I want to see you now. No, what? Yeah, the Daily Mail people are still in favour of Nigel. See, I just see Nigel as a caricature. Same as Boris. When you look at their mass migration policy, it's not that much different. They're going for what they call net zero, which this year last year would have been 700,000 newcomers from the third world, basically. And that's until the ONS revise their figures and probably put it up further, to 800,000 or 900,000. A lot of them coming as family members or students. Yeah, it's weird, I don't know how Musk is going to end up, really. But in the end, if people still keep voting as if it's 1947, for Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem, SNP, nothing's going to change, basically. Clyde Cymru, Greens. So here we go with West Streeting. Here's a Labour guy who almost didn't win his constituency. He'll probably lose it next time to a new Brit. And what did he think of Mr Musk? It's a disgraceful smear of a great woman who has spent her life supporting victims of the kind of violence Elon Musk and others say that they're against. And it's very well sitting there, and I'm not just talking about Musk, I'm talking about armchair critics on social media. It's all very easy to sit there and fire off something in haste and click send, when people like Keir Starmer and Jess Phillips have done the hard yards of actually looking up wife beaters, rapist pedophiles. No, it's not good enough, actually. They didn't do it in here, did they? And really, I don't think Keir or Jess are going to last. Well, Jess would lose her seat next. I think Keir might actually lose his seat next election as well. He wasn't that far off this time, but we're fed up with this type of electoral politics. We need closer to the Swiss electoral system. We need e-voting. We need politicians there 24/7, 365, which probably means you maybe need 2 or 3 members for your constituency. We need smaller amount of MPs. Well, in constituencies at least. The Scottish version is a bit better than the British one. What they'll probably do is come up with some online safety bill which will be like Stasi-like, you know, basically. Yvette Cooper described Jess Phillips as fearless and formidable. She's useless in my opinion. She's the kind of leader that even women would want, you know, if they worked in a factory or something and she was a trade union person or something. They wouldn't want her either. I mean, everyone's getting stung really, isn't it? Okay, well look at Elon's. So let's see. Oh, cut. Oh no, I'll stay. The irony of this multiculturalism mass migration push in Europe is that it will actually produce less diversity, not more. True, says Elon. I totally agree, this is all good. So I'm going to go to the BBC. And here's J.K. Rowling's getting into it as well. Rape is an abuse, not a strategy. And if it's a biological problem, so is murder. We have the political option to structure our society. He reposted it. I don't know really, that's pretty vague what she's saying really. I hope she's not saying have an online bill, you know, because that'll be too woke. I don't. Obviously, yes, we want to do all that. Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't happen already. Here, Elon's reposting this. Britain sent a Farage to 2 years prison for the crime of selling stickers opposing open borders, raping 20-year-olds because they were afraid of community tensions. So here he's having a go at Spain now. 91% of people in prison for rape in the Spanish region of Catalonia are foreign citizens, despite only making up 17%. So he's really good at doing this sort of thing. Oh, in my opinion, because I'm agreeing with what he's doing it too, but I wouldn't like if I didn't agree with him. So Richard Tice has said something. I mean, he's posting all the time. Farage doesn't have what it takes, and he's done that 2 hours ago. 1 o'clock or something, 2 o'clock today. And here's a violent crime thing, and it's. I mean, Kuwait's looking like a. If you come to your country, it might not be a great sign. Tunisia, Lebanon, Somalia, Jordan, all up there. Uganda, Morocco, Iraq, Algeria, Yugoslavia. So that's the first of Ethiopia, Serbia and Montenegro, Egypt, Iran, Afghanistan, Kenya. You're right here. He's going on about BBC. There is reposting Elon Musk. Okay, I'll just keep going through this. I mean, I've listened to a lot of Tommy Robinson, you know, I've got a lot of respect for him. I think one thing about him is he's a civic nationalist, which I don't think will work really either, you know. It's a good place to get to from where we are at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be a work. You know, mass migrations just. I agree with everyone that's left their beautiful warm homelands, you know, basically. I agree with every one of them. These places should be the places that we should all be wanting to move to. There's nothing stopping them, really. you know, a lot of countries it took a long while for them to get going, like Slovenia, etc. All those former East Europe countries, now they'll all get going to an extent. I mean, I've not even got through today's tweets from them. Yeah, I mean, Grok seems better than the Google Gemini for me on politics anyway, because they don't want to answer any politics. Grok has a go, and I think it's pretty fair from what I've seen. It's the same in Scotland as the rest of the UK. They sold their souls to fund a multicultural nirvana. SNP's rape gang shame as ministers ignored calls for urgent action on child groomers. And that's from 4th of January 25, so I'll need to take a look at that. See. Well, I'll need to leave out of that because I'm running out of memory. I think. I've just realised I never pressed mic for this. I think. So, align Congress members on their voting records versus their social media posting clips. So this is Grok he's talking about. So anyway, he seems very toxic, but I'm agreeing with who he's having a go at, although I feel sorry for him at the intensity. And we could be heading for a dictatorship, you know, it's not so good either. Oh, sorry. Hey, where am I? I can't keep up with this anyway. Yeah, I've read bits of this, you know, it's been absolutely appalling. I don't know who was saying it, the judge or it's an inquiry. Yeah, I think it was a judge. And these guys will be out again anyway. And you know that Rochdale gang, you know the main guy or whatever. He gave up his Pakistani citizenship the day before he was meant to be deported because he'd get dual citizenship. But he would rather live in the Rochdale than Pakistan when you've been jailed for raping young white girls and doing all sorts of other things to them. He would rather stay in Rochdale than go to Pakistan. So that tells you, well, maybe his wife was pretty forgiving then, you know. I would imagine most native female Green Labour SNP like Cymru voters would leave their husband instantly, but it feels like it's not the case there, or even from his community. I mean, I would probably thinking, yeah, I'll go to Pakistan, it's got to be better than this, you know. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Just things are happening too much. Okay. Oh well, I'm glad it's been focused in this way though, because the politicians didn't do enough at the time. So, and the sentences weren't long enough. People weren't deported, etc. So, yeah, I'm glad. But you know, he looks pretty toxic as a person himself, but I'm agreeing with him just now.